Hello, good evening and welcome to Prime Business with me, Beverly Broom. The Ghana Association of Banks has expressed worry about the long duration it takes for the court to give judgment on cases between bad borrowers and banks. According to its Chief Executive Officer, John Ewua, this is hampering the ability of banks to have adequate liquidity to on-lend to the real sector of the economy, particularly medium and small businesses. His comment is coming at a time non-performing loans reached 20%, the highest since the last 5 years. Speaking at a webinar organized by the Chartered Institute of Banking titled Banking the Real Economy, Mr. Ewua said some of the country's institutional organizations have contributed to the high default rates in the country.
To touch on one or two of the key inhibitions in the system that really worries the financial system when they are giving access to financing or providing liquidity to operators in the SME environment is the number one is our institutional organizations, the structures, our judicial system, the Lands Commission, Environmental Protection Agency, all these pockets of institutions who all play key roles in making sure that funding to the SME is de-risked at the minimum. Of course, you cannot remove the risk entirely, but it's de-risked to the level where a bank will say, oh, I'm accepting this residual risk. It's more or less the business that I do, and you don't give 100 and expect that you get an entire 100. There's always that possibility or probability of default that you will encounter. But when there is default, the problems the banking system goes through to ensure recovery so that they have liquidity to give to the next SME is where the challenge is. So as a bank, when you are operating and you have this SME who you gave a loan to 18 months ago, all of a sudden, due to one or two issues, the loan is distressed. You want to ensure recovery so that you can make that fund available to the next good SME. You go to the court system and it takes you 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years to ensure a common recovery. You are holding mortgage documentation. You go to Lands Commission and that mortgage is being remortgaged to somebody else, or that mortgage has been sold, or it's been, all kinds of things happening in these big national institutions. Sometimes it baffles us the manner in which some of these big institutions, talking about Lands Commission, a trusted institution, just like the banking system, the judicial system, a trusted institution, and you go to the law courts and the way lawyers are playing the banks. One case, you can go to court 180 times and you will not have judgments because the lawyer comes today, tomorrow he says, I'm traveled, I have funeral, I have this, and there's tolerance within this environment that emboldens borrowers in a manner that when they borrow and they default, they become giants. They have money, you, the bank, you are now chasing them. So it provides a layer of difficulty for the bank.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, Robert Jato, said his outfit will continue to play a major role to ensure liquidity is readily available to support the real economy.
These are engines of growth and employment in this sector or in the economy of our country. They contribute significantly in employment and certainly to our GDP. And therefore, we think that it's important to find a balance. And I'm hoping that the panel members here will, and of course, there are SME communities that have joined us on this call, will find some way of cracking the code on how to really extend credit and support the real economy. And I think that's an important conversation, and that's our motivation. We are hoping that we can find some real solutions today.
Still on the banking sector, the ARB Apex Bank is supporting some of its member banks in the rural areas to acquire armored vehicles to be used for transporting cash across the country. The move is to help the community and rural banks meet Bank of Ghana's deadline for banks to transport funds in bullion vans by end of November this year. Speaking to Joy Business Board Chairman of ARB Apex Bank, Dr. Thorny Albin said some are using cost-cutting measures to get the vehicles on the road before the deadline.
We are inching towards meeting the Bank of. For the Apex Bank, definitely we'll meet that, because our rural banks don't go to Bank of Ghana. They don't have vault in Bank of Ghana. Their vault is in Apex Bank. So for them, we are supporting them to retrofit those who have vehicles that are less than 3 years old. We provide them with support to retrofit these vehicles into armored bullion level. So that's what we are doing. Those who are good enough to buy their own, they are buying. I know one or two of the banks are actually capable of buying 1 or 2 bullion vans for themselves. So they are complying. It's a major cost, but I think it's a cost that you can amortize over the period. The benefit will also come, because the risk of hauling money or cutting money through vehicles that are not secured and being attacked by armed robbers, that is more dangerous than having a little bit expensive van, but in the future you can always have the cost covered.
Now, President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, Sena Dake, has underscored the need for accountants to do effective budgeting to help their businesses remain resilient. According to her, this is necessary to aid businesses to attract investment from donors who are looking to invest in sustainable entities. She was speaking at the launch of the Institute's 60th anniversary.
Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana has launched its 60th anniversary celebration under the theme Our Planet, Our Health and Our Well-Being. Members of the Institute were admonished to uphold the standards of the profession. In an interview with Joy Business, President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, Sena Dake, urged accountants to do effective budgeting to sustain their various institutions.
Today's program of presidential lunch is just on the topic planets, our health, our well-being. And we have realized that this is a significant area for a lot of investor drive. And the World Summit that's happened recently had a lot of drive in impact investment initiatives. So development organizations and donor partners are making investments. So what role would an accountant have to play? That is where we are going into, to help our accountants and our professionals to do effective budgeting, to do the financial management and the reporting, and help organizations to become more resilient so far as health sector is concerned.
Deputy Chief Executive of Development Bank Ghana, Michael Mensah said his outfit will invest 1 billion cedis in the productive sectors of the economy to address the financing gap in the country by the end of the year.
Addressing the lack of long-term financing that drives the kind of investments that will lead to sustainable growth is a gap that must be addressed. It is critical that we work to unleash the potential of the youth by creating the right enabling environment. Although DBG was launched only in June last year, we are targeted to invest up to 1 billion Ghana cedis in the productive sectors of the economy by the end of the year. Through our shared goal of supporting the growth of local businesses, we hope to contribute to an economy where entrepreneurs can invest and build sustainable businesses that can take their products and services across West Africa and globally. Madam Chairperson, in a world where sustainability is the talk of the day and more businesses are integrating ESG in their operations, I call on the ICAG to develop innovative ways of measuring the impact of sustainability practices in our local businesses.
Members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana were urged to embrace the rapid advances in technology to make their work easier and faster.
Now, as part of efforts to safeguard Ghana's marine life and prevent further depletion of fish stock, Deputy Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Moses Anim has emphasized the significance of implementing policies aligned with the Ghana National Development Plan 2024 to 2028. Speaking at the launch of the 39th edition of the National Farmers' Day celebration, he reiterated government's commitment to preserve activities in the sector.
The first Friday of December every year is earmarked as National Farmers' Day. In 2021, the day's celebration moved to a week's observation with a number of activities ahead of the day. Speaking at the launch of the 39th edition of the National Farmers' Day celebration, Deputy Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Moses Anim, echoed efforts to improve the fisheries sector.
To address these challenges and harness the opportunities in the sector, especially the aquaculture industry, the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development is pursuing short, medium, and long-term measures to sustainably manage the fisheries resources and develop the aquaculture industry. This includes formulation of new national fisheries and aquaculture policy for the sector, the development of the Marine Fisheries Management Plan 2023 to 2026 to restore depleted fish stocks and improve governance in the sector, the development of the Ghana National Aquaculture Development Plan 2024-2028 to help improve the practice management and sustainable development of aquaculture as a viable business.
Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, Yao Frimpong Ado, highlighted the importance of National Farmers' Day celebration.
The issue of land ownership, limited access to market and financial services, effects of climate change, post-harvest losses, high cost of inputs, and low return on investment, among others, should make us appreciate our farmers even more. Beyond our appreciation, respect, and admiration for the efforts of our farmers and fishers, we must fulfill our obligation of creating the necessary environment through policy interventions and other incentives to motivate our farmers to play their role more effectively. As an imperative, we must demonstrate more sensitivity to the needs of our farmers to enable them to optimize productivity and attain a high level of competitiveness derived from the efficient use of resources and technology.
In 2022, the celebration took place in the Eastern region, and this year, it's set to unfold in the Western region. The Western Regional Minister, Kwabena Ochreda Komensa, called for increased investments in coconut and rice production within the region.
Western region produces 98% of Ghana's rubber. The Western region produces 80% of Ghana's coconut. The Western region produces 35% of Ghana's oil palm. We have also started the enhanced rice projects. So we have a lot of opportunities when it comes to coconut and then rice. I just want to mention these two so that you can remember. So anybody who is interested to invest in these areas, contact the Western Regional Coordinating Council and we'll be there to support you to succeed. On that note, I wholeheartedly accept the challenge in hosting the Farmers' Day.
This year's National Farmers' Day celebration is themed Delivering Smart Solutions for Sustainable Food Security and Resilience.
Do some more stories now, and MTN Mobile Money Limited is training 180 security personnel in Accra to combat mobile money fraud, with plans to expand the training program to other parts of the country. The training is under the theme Fraudster Capacity Building Workshop. Here's more in this report. The Fraudster Capacity Building Workshop is a crucial initiative undertaken between telecommunications giant MTN Ghana and the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, to guarantee the safety of its customers. Here is Head of Legal and Corporate Affairs, Mobile Money Limited, Papa Osei.
The reason for this is to have a measurable impact. So it's not just general training. We've brought in professionals from the E-Crime Bureau who are handling this training in collaboration with Mobile Money Limited. It's very important you abide to the 3 golden rules. Do not share your PIN. Do not discuss information that has to do with your mobile money account with persons you know are not from mobile money. Do not share your password. It's also very important. And then thirdly, we will only call you with our official number, 0244 300,000. Any other number, discard it. It won't be from Mobile Money Limited or from MTN.
Lawyer at the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Victoria Samoa, is confident the training will equip her outfit to effectively combat MoMo fraud. She further warned perpetrators to desist from the act, adding that IOCO will exercise its power to confiscate properties acquired out of their criminal act.
This MOU is going to help us because as part of the MOU, Mobile Money is going to provide us with training, technical know-how, and this will help investigators understand the terrain in which these fraudsters work. So for now, that IOCO is fully armed, they should watch out for us. Other than that, we'll come after them. And we also have the mandate of confiscating proceeds of crime. So even if you are able to get anything out of these activities, IOCO has the mandate and the power under the authority of the Attorney General to come after any property at all that you make out of these crimes.
MTN Mobile Money is the top service provider in the country with the largest customer base. Now, the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications is warning the public against giving their Ghana cards to people to use in the registration of their subscriber identity module SIM cards. Now, CEO of the Chamber, Dr. Ken Ashibe, says the mobile money fraudsters have devised new strategies to dupe the unsuspecting public by using the Ghana cards of others to register SIM cards. Now, speaking at a stakeholder forum in Cape Coast, Dr. Ashibe indicated that mobile money fraud cases are on the rise, but they are developing ways to dealing with them. Here's more in this report.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Telecommunications, Dr. Ken Ashibe, says the MoMo fraudsters have resorted to using the Ghana cards of innocent victims to register new cards, which they then use in their operations. According to him, people must guard their Ghana cards zealously to reduce the incidence of MoMo fraud.
So what are we doing? What we've done is that now the IGP has called a meeting together of all the telcos, all the banks, and then he's working on a plan, a concerted plan, because already as the Chamber of Telecommunications, we have a platform called the FCD, where if anybody defrauds you, anybody steals your device, and you report it, the telco in particular would investigate. If they find it to be true, they would block the person. We are now liaising with the cybercrime unit. We'll report to the person will deal with the person. We don't only do that. After blocking the person, they put it on the FCD platform, and then you are blocked. So they'll block your SIM, they will block your device as well. And now with the partnership with the IGP, those people, and because now we have the Ghana card, we now will be able to arrest. But the unfortunate thing that we need to advise all the people are, now what the fraudsters are doing is that because they know they need to get a Ghana card, they see people who are walking around, then they come to you, and then they come and give you some 10 CDs. They use people's IDs to go and register these SIMs, and then they use them to do the fraud. So please, we beg you, don't allow anybody to use your Ghana card to register any SIM card. When you do that, you are putting yourself at risk.
Dr. Ashibe also spoke about how the increasing incidence of fiber cuts have become a huge challenge to the telecoms company and the subscribers.
It's a similar, a particular situation where there's a company in Takrady making tiles called Keda. They've destroyed about 10 kilometers of fiber belonging to MTN, AT, and Vodafone. The total cost of reinstating those 10 kilometers is more than 6 million cedis. And the cost that all of them bore in even repairing to make sure that customers can get use of it, it's over 700,000 cedis. And you see, so these things keep happening. You have those who are doing roads, those who are doing drains, destroying it. And then what then happens is that is the customer
that bears the brunt, because once that is done, you will not be able to make a call. You will not be able to do anything else.
Elmina District Police Commander Chief Superintendent Abraham Bansa narrated how his outfit has been dealing with the increasing cases of MoMo fraud.
Some of the cases reported real like, I am a MoMo agent at Elmina. The suspect I brought to the police station came to do MoMo transaction at my place. He handed over to me a phone claiming to be a brother who wants to speak to me on phone. And during their conversation, the person on the phone may instruct the agent to enter a preferred code for further directives. And when that is done, the monies are transferred into their account and later cash out immediately. In all, the above cases reported were duly investigated. Those with evidence were prosecuted. Other cases settled among the parties, while others are still on investigations. Let me take this opportunity to advise all the MoMo agents and the gathering here to be strictly conscious in dealing with MoMo transactions to help reduce MoMo fraud menace within KA municipality.
Quality Assurance Manager of Helios Towers, Michael Ejakon, indicated how construction companies damage the cables of the telecom companies, and this, he says, affect the services of the telecom companies.
And that's how we end business tonight. For more business news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Beverly Broom. Thanks so much for your time. I leave you with news making headlines on the international front.